The ballroom at the Burlington Marriott was filled with people last week looking to learn more about their history and the methods they can use to trace their family lineage. It was the 20th anniversary of the New England chapter of the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society, and one of the main topics was using genetics to trace family history. Though the anniversary had a big turnout and featured guest speakers like Beverly Morgan-Welch, the Associate Director of the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History, the society started small. In fact, at its founding, it was just a handful of people trying to peer into the past.
20 years ago, we had friends over at the National Archives. We were trying to get information on our family. And with that, someone said, I know of a genealogical system in Washington where it's helpful for blacks to get information. So we left the archives and came to my house. There were 4 of us, and we were enthusiastic, and we decided, well, why don't we start meeting to talk about history, genealogy.
As noted, one of the speakers was Beverly Morgan-Welch of the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History. That museum was opened last September after many years of hard work by a large number of people who raised funds, found artifacts, and put it all together. Organizers at the event at the Marriott said it was important to recognize the historic contribution African American citizens have made in the nation's history.
I hope that people will come away with a better understanding of the contributions and the impact that African Americans have had in the United States. For example, for years and years, so much of our history, so much of our culture has been left out and omitted, and people don't know about it. Even African Americans don't know about it because textbooks in schools were primarily written from from a European perspective, and there wasn't this information.
There was also a talk on how to use genetic testing to take a look into family history. The speaker explains what he talked about and what he hoped the audience would take away.
Sure. So my presentation was on using DNA in genealogy, and I went through the types of DNA that are genealogically useful, how they obtain their material, and then some interesting case studies that have utilized that type of DNA research. I'm hoping that they sort of learn about, the benefits and also the limits of DNA, and that maybe you might test today and might not necessarily get the answers you were looking for, but maybe in a few years, depending on how more people might participate or whatnot, you could get something you were looking for later on down the road.
That research can do much towards the goal of the society, which is helping people trace their history and the history of their families. Members said knowing where you come from is important for an individual.
It's very important because it gives you a grounding of where you are. If you know where you're from, you know pretty much where you're going. And so it's something I want to pass on to my children, that they will know where their past was from.
Well, I think if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. That's kind of my attitude. So I'm, constantly searching, and I've done the DNA, but it's really important to have that grounding and to know where your family has come from, and it certainly has given me strength. Knowing family stories and uncovering things about my family so far, it gives me a sense of strength and pride.
At the Burlington Marriott, I'm B News Director Rich Hosford.